Hey everyone! I just got back from conference this weekend and I am super excited about all the new fall products, but I'm even more excited about all of the new recipes in the season's best. They all look really good this season because it's all about one-pot dinners, and I love a good one-pot dinner. So Kevin and I ran out this weekend and got supplies for a couple of them, and tonight I'm going to make the chicken pot pie chowder for you all. Woohoo! So first off, I wanted to show you guys how to dice up onions in the manual food processor, and then we're going to do all the rest of the recipe. So here's going to be the first part where we dice up all those onions. Woohoo! See, I got my manual food processor right there. And I've already quartered up the onion to make it a little bit easier. So I'm actually having this recipe. Normally you'd use the whole onion, but I probably wouldn't have used the whole onion anyways because I'm not a big onion fan. So put it all in the manual food processor, and you can see the blade right there. Now we're going to rough chop them. Partway through I like to check just to make sure. Yeah, they could probably be a little bit more. I'll give it a shake with it on there to kind of redistribute. All right, those look perfect. Now the best part about the manual food processor is that everything except for the top part, except for this part, is dishwasher safe. So there's no cleanup in the end. So we're gonna have these guys nice and ready. All right, now on to the recipe part. As you can see, I've got all of my ingredients ready to go. When you're in a hurry, it's much better to prep everything ahead of time. That way you're not frantically running around, you mess something up, especially when you're trying a new recipe. That's really important. So this guy right here is our Rock Crock Everyday Pot. As you can see, it's a shorter base. So for Kevin and I, when it's just the two of us, it's perfect. The Rock Crock also has the Dutch oven. It's got the XL. We've got the Rock Crock that fits your life. So because it's the everyday pot and not the Dutch oven, I had to have the recipe too. So that's also important. If you're having the recipe, take some time. Make sure you're measuring everything out right, because you could be rushing and totally mess something up, and we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our olive oil. We're going to put that in there and heat it up for a few minutes until it gets shimmery, is what the directions say. I just love that shimmery. So, and the best part about the Rock Crock is it can go on anything. It can go on the stove top. It can go on your grill. You could take it anywhere. It will do anything. Microwave. Woo. As you can see, I have way too many tools and didn't prep the tool part. I prepped the food, just not the tool. All right, so we're gonna wait for that. We've got our onions cut up. We've got our garlic ready and handy. This is our awesome garlic press. See, I don't even have to touch the clove or anything like that. It's just ready to go. Whew, that's a lot of onions. Although I guess for a soup you really want a lot of onions. So we'll move that around a bit. I don't know, what do you think? Does that look pretty shimmery? I think that looks shimmery. Oh, shoot. So, and I learned a new trick this weekend actually. When you're working with onions and garlic for a recipe, you always want to put them in together. Don't ever start to cook your garlic first, because the onions with their moisture help to keep them from burning, which, who knew? I was like, that's an awesome tip. I use onions and garlic all the time for recipes. So here we go with the garlic press. One motion and we're done. Woohoo! We're going to get everything with the handy dandy little cleaner. And the best part is, you don't have to touch it because the cleaner does all the work. See, I can pull everything out of there and not even worry about touching it. And even better than you not having to touch it, leave it for the husband. Ha ha ha. Shh, don't tell Kevin. So, all right, we're gonna make sure that's all nice and incorporated and leave these guys to cook a little bit. It's smelling delicious already. Love it. All right. So we're gonna cook those for a few minutes until they're soft. And then we're going to add flour. We're adding, oh, see? This is why I measure things out. The recipe calls for 1/4 cup, and I put 1/4 cup. What is 1/2 cup? 1/2 cup is 2 tablespoons. Woo! I'm glad I read that. Gotta take out some flour. See, I always tell people I'm pampered, not perfect. That's one thing I love about Pampered Chef. We are pampered, not perfect, right? No one is perfect, except for maybe Julia Child, but even she wasn't perfect, so we're all not perfect. All right. Stir up our onions a little bit and our garlic. Ooh, they're starting to look a little opaque, which from what I hear is what we want. Beautiful. Oh, I don't know about anyone else, but I just love the smell of cooking garlic. It is fabulous. And for this, since this is a chicken pot pie chowder, you need cooked chicken. You're not cooking the chicken with the soup, it's pre-cooked. So what I did is I actually got a rotisserie chicken yesterday. The best part is they were on sale at Jewel, woohoo! And I just shredded it, I let it cool a bit, and then I shredded it. Put it in the fridge. We're gonna use the leftovers for salad this week, or tacos, all sorts of stuff. So, it shreds really nice. And you have a little bit of added flavor too, which is lovely. All right. I would say they're beginning to look pretty soft. What do you guys think? Think we can add the flour? I think so. All right. So then what do? Is we add our flour. So we're almost kind of making a roux. Sort of. At least I think we are. We're going to coat the onions and the garlic with it, and we're going to keep cooking them for about a minute. Let them cook a little bit. I always like to try and break them up a bit. So, like when I'm doing meat or stuff like this, so everything gets evenly cooked. So this guy that I'm using is the mix and scrape. This is one of my absolute favorite tools. I use it for pretty much everything. Anything on the stovetop. It's pretty crazy. Okay, now we're going to add in our chicken stock and our salt and pepper. Now there are measurements for the salt and pepper, but I tend to just kind of do just a little bit of both. We don't like a lot of added salt in our meals. So, and that's the good thing about this recipe is you're using low sodium chicken stock. You're only adding a little bit of salt. Now the cooked chicken does have a little bit of sodium, so that's why I didn't add quite as much. So, because you're already going to get a little bit of salt with that chicken. So we're going to get all those lovely bits from the bottom of the pan. That's what we want. So, because that's where all the good flavor is. Have you ever heard the term deglaze the pan? That's what that means, is to get all those yummy bits. And I can feel them just popping up and all that good flavor. All right, we're going to bump up the heat a bit. We're going to wait till it it simmers, and then we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. Ooh. Again, pampered. Uh-oh. Pampered, not perfect. Forgot to preheat the oven. Oh my goodness. You would think it's my first time here, my first rodeo. All right. I would say that's starting to simmer. So we're going to add our milk, our vegetables, and our chicken. So what I'm going to show you guys too is our herb mill, which is like, has been my new favorite product this past season. So, because this recipe calls for a half a cup. See, I did it again. This is why I pre-measure. A half a cup of loosely packed parsley. So I'm just going to grab about half of this cup. Half of this half cup. Although I do like parsley. It's probably my favorite fresh herb. And the best part about this herb mill is it makes it super easy, because you see the little ball in there, it pushes everything down. So that guy is all nice and ready. All right, we're going to add our milk. We're going to add our veggies. We're going to add the chicken. Our lovely vegetables. This is using the rotisserie chicken and then using the frozen veggies makes it such an easy weeknight dinner. That's the best part. So, and I actually added a little bit more chicken than half of the recipe, because Kevin really likes chicken and protein with his dinner. So I want to make sure he's a happy camper. All right. As you can see, it's nice and chunky, just like a chowder should be, right? Yum. All right, so now we are going to see this guy in action. So you kind of have to move the ball a little bit just to make sure you get all the guys under there. But look at how easy that is. I mean, oh, it's so ridiculously easy. And you pair this with our herb freezing trays, which is probably what I'm going to do for the rest of the parsley in there. And it's going to be perfect. You're going to have nice leftover parsley that you can pull out anytime and just plunk in a recipe. So, all right. We're going to give it a nice stir. I love the food mill, or not the food mill, the herb mill, excuse me, because it gets everything nice and even. Certain things, I don't know why, I get very OCD about, and that's one of them. I really like my herbs to be very close to the same size, because then you don't get one huge bite of herb and stuff like that. Everything comes out very nice and even. Everything is flavored. So, all right. So now we're going to add our biscuits, because you can't have a pot pie without the pie, right? Exactly. I know you didn't think I was going to leave off that part. These are just store-bought biscuits, so buttermilk style. So we're getting fancy. Ooh, I always hate this part. Ooh! Even when you know it's coming, it's like, ah. So we're going to place them really nice just on top, around the outside. Ooh, it looks like we have more than enough biscuits. One more. All right, I think we'll bake him on the side. Or, ooh, you know what I could do? I could break him up a little bit. Kind of tuck him in. We'll see how this works. Little stray from the recipe, but you hate to waste a perfectly good buttermilk biscuit, right? All right, nice and tucked in. All right. And we're gonna bake him uncovered for 12 to 15 minutes. So, but the rock crock also does come with the cover, so when you need it. And the best part about the rock crock is you can broil in it, you can take it out to the grill. Oh my goodness, it's fantastic. All right, so we're gonna time it. We're gonna probably go for 15 minutes because it's not quite preheated because I forgot to preheat it. So we'll go a little longer just to give it a little more time. And I'll see you back in a few minutes. All right, so the buzzer just buzzed. Woohoo! Time for dinner. I'm gonna grab the spoon and everything so I'm ready to dish it out so you can see. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Woo! Wow, look at those biscuits. That looks fabulous, doesn't it? All right, I'm going to dish it out. Hopefully you can take it. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Oh my goodness. Oh, the biscuit is just so good. Look at that. Ooh, yum. All that pot pie goodness down below. And there you have it. Chicken pot pie chowder. One pot wonder meal.
Man, that looks good.
That was Kevin. He just got home a few minutes ago.